Let's queer up court.
Please.
Maryland man pleads guilty to sending threatening messages to LGBTQ plus allies. A Maryland man pleaded guilty to threatening an LGBTQ plus advocacy group in the days following a mass shooting at a school in Tennessee earlier this year. Adam Michael Natina pleaded guilty in a federal court in late August to the charge of making threats transmitted by interstate communications. As part of his plea agreement, Natina also admitted to sending other threatening messages to state delegates from Maryland and Virginia who had voiced support for the transgender community. Natina made the threats in the aftermath of the March 27, 2023 shooting at the Covenant School in Nashville that left 6 people dead, including 3 9-year-old students. The deceased shooter, Aiden Hale, reportedly identified as transgender. Eric L. Barron, U.S. Attorney for the District of Maryland, said in a statement, quote, "You have the right to your own opinions, but you don't have the right to threaten the lives of those who disagree with you." End quote. According to court documents, Natina left a voicemail at the victimized advocacy group with the threats, quote, "We'll cut your throats. We'll put a bullet in your head. You're going to kill us. We're going to kill you 10 times more in full." End quote. He admitted leaving the voicemail with the intent that it would be viewed by the group as a threat. Natina admitted that he targeted the group because of the actual and perceived sexual and gender identity of the workers and people supported by the group. As per the court decision, he faces up to 5 years in a federal prison. Well, of course, leave it to the right wing to take the one time a transgender person commits an act that 99 point whatever percent of actual shooters and harm inflictors do.
White cis men.
Exactly. The white cis men at the table. Everybody look over here. This is what a shooter looks like.
Oh my God.
But let's not forget Club Q.
Club Q.
In Colorado Springs, the murderer in that case also identifies as trans.
Okay. Well, I didn't know that part.
But
there's
300?
2 out of how many?
Right.
It's statistically insignificant is the point.
Yeah,
is that
if you're using it as a guise, if you're using it just to have our support, and as minuscule as that would be, then that's ridiculous.
Exactly. It's like saying, oh, well, all teachers rape children just because there happens to be one story that comes up in an entire county or 2 stories. You always have to look at the statistics to see what is actually happening and what is cherry-picked for political purposes. And of course, this is cherry-picked for political purposes. And I should have had the stats with me, but transgender people it's much more statistically probable that they will be the victims of violence. Sure. They are the number one murder choice of shooters in these, maybe the shooters is not the right word, but of having victims of violence to them. And Black trans women are the highest group of murder. So, this is all ridiculous. It's smoke and mirrors. So we shouldn't be giving this, any kind of I don't know, influence into the right-wing media.
My takeaway from this is that we're starting to see a pattern. Remember, I think it was last month or maybe earlier this month that a woman was shot. She had 9 kids and she had a pride flag. Straight woman, had a pride flag in her business, was murdered strictly for being an ally. This person going after allies. I've said it before, there are corners of the dark web that we just don't go to, but where this stuff foments, where this stuff, people talk to each other, and this is where they get the ideas. And there's going second verse, not the same as the first. They saw how, after George W. Bush attacked us with a constitutional amendment, how we quickly, within 10 years, had full marriage equality because people came around. People started seeing gay people as not a threat. Imagine that. So now they're going after our allies because they know that if they can keep our allies away, they sap our strength because our allies are most definitely needed. They're probably the most important part in this particular civil rights fight.
Almost all the way back around to the Bad Bunny story.
Yeah.
In a way.